Hey,
Quiero Havana Club. I'm still in the Columbia mood. You know what I mean? I went to work right after everything.
hey, perfect, man, perfect. So welcome aboard, everybody. This is Fly in Formation. My name is Doobyis, and this is episode 133, I believe. So I do this interview series as a spin-off to my weekly mixtape mix show. It's on the FM dial, but of course it's 2026. Nobody listens to it there. It's also over at mixcloud.com/Doobyis. Name of the show is After the Smoke is Clear or At Sick Radio. And I play 100% Canadian hip-hop every week over there. So then this Fly in Formation series, I just kind of started doing, I guess, 3.5 years ago now, trying to reach out to people across the country, artists whose music I'm playing on a regular basis. And, it kind of has the ethos that if anybody knows each individual scene and who's dope in that scene across the country, it's going to be the artists themselves. So I do my best to kind of try to cross-pollinate between all of the different fan bases that are out across the country, scattered out, and, just try to unite the scene as much as we can here week by week. But tonight, two artists whose music I have been playing for quite a long time on At Sick. I'm joined by two members of the group Treez, crew Treez. I don't know what you guys are called, collective Treez, D.O.V, and DJ Chino 420. Welcome, guys.
Yo, salute.
Hell yes. So
It's a pleasure.
something that I do on this show sometimes when I have multiple guests is especially when they're guests who I don't feel like I can really give a proper introduction to. I don't know a ton about either of you guys, but I like to ask guests, can you introduce each other just to hear, some what you think about the other guy. Tell me about each other.
All right, cool.
Man. I'll say, my boy Chino, man, this guy, OG in the game. I mean, I was introduced to him by, a very prominent, successful artist out of New York. And even though we lived in the same city, it took someone on that level to bring me to him. So, that showed me at the time, and, still reminds me today, the level that Chino's on when it comes to professionalism and, when it comes to just being someone that's important to work with, and it's been mad positive ever since. It's my dog, one of the realest dudes I know, and, on the music and in life, you know what I mean? Good dude, real dude. And, shit, man, like one of my best friends, closest friends now at this point, since, for the last like 10 years, I guess you could say,
Beautiful, man. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yo, my boy D.O.V. What can I say, man? Like one heavy spitter, man. Like, you know what I mean? work ethic is on point. He strives to be the best, you know what I mean? He's a hard worker, man. Like when it comes down to deadlines, for music to record, he's on point. When it comes to taking lead on something a project or whatever, he takes the lead. Like, you know what I mean? His input is just as worth more as mine than his. You know what I mean? Like he's a very great dude, very respectful dude. And like I said, I met him through, Rusty Jukes, you know what I mean? And
Okay, nice.
Since then, like, you know what I mean? Like I brought Rusty down for a show, and he basically said, "Yo, listen, I got to meet up with a couple rappers out here in Mississauga to do a video." I'm like, "Rappers in Mississauga?" I'm like, "What the heck? Who are these rappers?" I was like, "Who are these rappers?" So, he introduced me to him, and since then, we just been, kicking it like 100, like straight. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
So, D.O.V, I wanted to ask you about some of those collaborations, actually. Like, you've got quite a list under your belt. Some of the Duck Down guys, Rusty Jux and Buckshot and buddy from OGC, whose name is escaping me right now.
Top Dog.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But so was that type of stuff happening kind of before you linked up with Treez? And just to get the timeline right, like we're talking 2019 you joined Treez, or what did the bio say? 20?
I think around 29 or late 2019, roughly.
Late 2019, early 20.
Okay.
20.
Yeah. I think 2020 came into full swing at that point. Um, Kind of a long story. So, it's like to answer the first question as far as the timeline goes. Um, when it comes to collabing, Rusty Jooks was the first person to work with me, and he actually opened a lot of doors, not just to Chino, but just to a wider audience, wider fan base. And he always stayed consistent communication wise. It was never a transactional thing where I contacted him as an artist and said, hey, I want to get you on a song, and and that was it. Just paid him, and that was it. It wasn't like nothing like that. Um, I was probably think I was like 23 at the time, and this was like, you know, I think Instagram was still new. Facebook was still like the big, uh, the big social media app,
Right.
and I had contacted him because around that time, I think from 2012, I was a fan. Like 20, like I heard about him like BK all day with boot camp and shit back in the day. Um, fuck, what's that one album where he has that verse for his sister? I'm forgetting now. It was a boot camp album as well, but I knew who he was and I was a fan, but I became a much bigger fan in 2012, and I really started following him on social media and just kind of kept up with him as a fan. But I reached out to him as an artist just because I saw that he was looking to collaborate with people,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a big budget. It was kind of like a shot in the dark, really. Like anyone else probably wouldn't have given me the time of day. I was mad young, and I had a crew with me, but I was always kind of the one that kind of would reach out to people. So at that time, I hit him up and he got back to me and he was able to work with my budget, which wasn't a lot, but he was fucking with the beats. He liked it. And he's like, oh, I'm down, you know what I mean? Let's just do something. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And basically, I had recorded, I think it was just one song at that time. And a year after, he was coming to Toronto. So when he was down here, the only way he can get a hold of me was through Chino. Or at the time, he's like, yeah, I got a handler down here. I got someone doing my stuff down here, DJ down here. Let me call you with his number. And then we met up in Saga, where I was living at the time. And we linked up and we just shot guerrilla style. We didn't really have a plan. We were really amateur, me and my crew. Like I said, I was only like 20. At that time, I think I was around 24.
Did I hear you
And
right that you said you only had one song recorded before working with Rusty Jooks? Was that?
No. We only
Okay.
did one song at that time. We only had one song.
Okay.
Nasty High. Yeah. Before that, I already had quite a few songs, but my
You got a
stuff
bunch of
wasn't really
songs.
out there properly. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't have like proper distribution or nothing like that. It was really underground. It was like, YouTube and like not Sound. Oh yeah, actually, I might have had some stuff on SoundCloud through other people, but I wasn't really established. Like, there was no Spotify, nothing like that.
Sure.
So I didn't have, much like that. So again, like at that time, to be that obscure, like I was walking around giving people burnt CDs on my shit. You know,
Classic.
shit that
Yeah.
shit,
CDs
shit
out
that
the
I made in my
backpack.
basement,
Yeah.
burning. Like I still got some out here. You know what I mean? But yeah. That long story short, he built that bridge, and I stayed consistent with Chino, and so did he. And it just kind of became this thing where the three of us had this common connection, and we would keep in touch. Sometimes he would call me. We shoot the shit. And from that point on, I got him on more songs, and it's now to the point where like we have a project together, which I'm re-releasing. It's coming out this Friday.
Nice.
The re-release of the project, Top Tier Part One. The reason being is because I was having some issues with the distributor, but that's all been dealt with now. So that's getting a proper re-release. So I was able to remaster some of that as well. But I got that on vinyl,
Oh,
actually,
beautiful.
right here.
When was it originally supposed to have dropped? Like, when did you record that one?
Oh boy. Well, this was as far as recording goes, like 2017,
Okay.
2017, 2018, and it dropped officially. I believe it was 2021. I think. I kind of forget. Smoke hella trees, but I think it was like 2021, and so it's now late. Most recently, I like late last year, got it on vinyl. Finally, vinyl and CD.
Nice.
But for the physicals, I was able to add a few bonus tracks of the earlier stuff that we did and stuff with Buckshot with the remix. So I'm super proud of this one. just because this was something I was able to do completely on my own, and this was something that really, I had in the arsenal when I joined Hella Trees. So it was really like, I came to the table with something special, and
Right.
Rusty's been a big supporter of it, and I love it, and it's just like a time capsule for me. It reminds me of certain times,
Nice, man. So
younger times.
you had a proven track record then when you came to Hella Trees. Chino, do you want to tell kind of about the history of Hella Trees prior to that? I read some of it in the Spotify bio, but
yeah, well, prior to that, back in 2012, it was me and Plasma XL, but Plasma XL had to, he was gone for a minute. Like he did 2 stunts, and like that was like what 14 years, and he got released in 2012. And we dropped the mixtape Red Haze, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't really a proper release either, because shortly after that he went inside again.
Okay.
For another like I think it was another 7 years or 5 years. I think I believe it is. Yeah, 5 years. So
Damn.
Hella Trees was like put on hold, and I was DJing more at the time too. So like I was doing like bar gigs and clubs and whatnot, and I didn't get into shows till like 2013, 2014 and stuff like that. But in that mix, I had another artist by the name of Knots working with, you know what I mean? But same with him, a lot of guys that, live that life, it's hard to get a hold of them.
Yeah. Not always the most reliable, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like also with like my main artist going in and out, in and out, in and out. I have mad love for Plasma, it's my brother. Like Hella Trees wasn't growing yet, you know what I mean? It was still like a little seedling, it's still just getting, drenched with water,
Right.
still trying to bloom. Until until I met D.O.V. Like he said, he had a crew back then, and the crew was good. Like it was good MCs, you know what I mean. But I always felt he was one of the strongest one out of them. More passionate.
So you came through just cherry picking, eh?
Yeah. I just came in, and like I said, like his vision was like my vision. It was a strong vision. Like he knew where he wanted to go, and I knew where I was going, where I was already heading to. Then like I said, the things just aligned perfect timing. You know what I mean? And when D.O.V. came along back in 2019, you know what I mean? We officially started dropping music together. We dropped a couple compilations together. Were the first 2 compilations. One was the 420 Experience, and the was it Zombie Apocalypse.
Okay.
Right? And that one was, me and D were together on that one. We put that one together. We grabbed the songs. He was on it too. He featured on it, and plus I had features with like guys from the States also on there.
Okay, nice.
So
yeah.
And then we just, like I said, we built a huge, strong friendship. And one day I just asked him, and I asked him and his crew, like, if listen, guys, I'm heading down to New York. You guys want to take this a bit further, like, you know what I mean? Let's see what it is out there. Let's see if you guys could get accepted by the gods out there. You know what I mean? D.O.V. was the only one that jumped on it. And it was like, yo, I'm passport ready, guy. Let's go. Like,
Yeah, that's a big challenge in hip hop too, right? Getting across that fucking border, especially these days, more and more so now.
Right. So I had built a relationship with like Rusty also. And I built a relationship with like Steel from Boot Camp, from Smith and Wesson. And and I got to be in the same room and hear stories with Sean Price. Like, you know what I mean? I got to meet Sean Price a couple of times, handful of times. And, so I went down to pay my respects. You know what I mean? We went down to say what up to Brendan and, his daughter, little Sean, Rusty, and just show her respect. I had time off. and it was a great way to plant some seeds, and just network.
Yeah.
Obviously, they always have a big gathering, and they have like an after party and stuff like that, and that's when it really opened up a lot of doors for us. Like, what I mean? Going out there, meeting people, like just networking and just, that's how we got to work with like Illa G and Royal Flush, Big Lito from the Lost Boys, part of Double Life Click. Who else? Timbo King.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
A lot of doors opened up for us. And yeah, like I said, D.O.V just added to Hella Treez. And as soon as he came in, Hella Treez started growing a lot more faster. The tree started blooming, and then Plasma got out. So, Plasma hit the studio right away, and we just started dropping tracks since then,
Yeah.
Plasma.
Yeah, you guys have been busy over the past, I don't know, half decade, 6 years, whatever it is here.
Yeah. We've been mad busy since COVID, you know what I mean? But, and like I said, like D.O.V, man, great dude, man, great dude. Fucking amazing dude. Like, you know what I mean? He put a lot of work into a lot of the projects also that he put, you know what I mean? And like his vision is great. Like, when he says, yo, I got an idea. I'm like, all right, run it. Let's see. What is it? Yo, that shit's sick. Yo, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I wanted to ask you guys about the creative process too. Like when you're collaborating together, different dynamics with different MC producer combos, but like, is it typically D.O.V coming with the idea and then kind of building instrumentally around the lyrical content, or kind of vice versa of that?
Go ahead, D.
Kind of cutting in and out, but yeah. Sounds all right, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, fix that.
Yeah.
When it comes to the creative side, like, okay, well, like it's basically, okay, we'll grab beats. Our beats come from a couple producers that we have in the collective of Hella Treez.
Oh, okay.
Bobby Bishop is one, and he's from the Netherlands. Shout out to Bobby Bishop. We also have Lord Minot, which is from Toronto. Verdinho, which is also from Toronto. And myself, and who else is there? That's typically the main producer that we choose from.
Sure.
And so Bobby would send a batch of beats, and me and D.O.V would just sit here and go through the list, and hear them all out. And then, and just like envision who could we get on this, or who sounds dope on this, you know what I mean? And sometimes I'll come with a combination. I'll be like, all right, you know what? Let's get so-and-so on this with you and so-and-so. You know what I mean? Or let's get you with a feature on this one. This one sounds dope. You know what I mean? And when it comes to features, I got a handful of people that, we could call on and get features from. You know what I mean?
And is that mostly just from kind of like a history of show promotion and stuff like that, or like some of these American artists? How did you link with all these guys?
Well, like I said, like,
you mentioned going down to Sean Price's
going down
funeral.
to Sean P's and like, but before that, like I said, I built a relationship. I'm also working on a documentary with Real Wolf, which is the documentary for Cool G Rap.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and in the mix of that, like, being around artists, talking to artists, you know what I mean? Just approaching them and talking to them like a human being, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And showing them the respect, like, you know what I mean? Not fanning out or any way.
Yeah.
And professionalism, right? Just real.
Being reliable, being on time, all that helps. Coming with the check when you're supposed to. Yeah.
Right. And like I said, like a lot of them, some of them were like frees. Some of them, we did pay for,
Sure.
But like, after paying maybe that one time, like, we're getting 2 or 3 for free.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And it's just, we built a relationship. Like, even with Funny Brown from Brownsville, from A Squad, like he's always been like, yo, send me beats. Chino, I just want to get on your beats. Like, just let's do it. Like, didn't matter.
Yeah.
Same with Big Lito. Big Lito, you know what I mean? I'll send him like a beat package from the collective, and then he would just, one morning he woke me up with like 4 beats done, and one of them was with Royal Flush. He's like, I want the rebirth. This is the rebirth. I'm like, okay, let's do it. But yeah, like our process is just, it's really, it's just, that's just the way it is. It's just, I don't know. We don't like,
No, that makes
I think
sense.
the only time we built like a beat around the artist was with D.O.V.
Okay.
And that's when that's the last album that he did with Cortez, our sound engineer from Four Sounds Media. He basically built the beat around D.O.V. You know what I mean? So there was a project that D had, and like it kind of fell through because the producer gave some beats away, and we felt like, you know what, if you gave them away, we don't want to rap on these beats, and then we hear these beats somewhere else, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we scrapped his whole project. When I mean scrap it, we scrapped it. Like we were like basically 98% done, mixing, mastering, everything. The shit's about to like get released within like 2 weeks. And then we found out this, one of the producers did that, and he felt that we were taking too long, and we weren't, but Matt loved him because I love him no matter what, Bobby Bishop. But we worked it out, and we just had a little difference that one time.
Sure.
But it ain't gonna stop us from making music. You know what I mean? We continue it. And
so in that situation, did you end up re-recording vocals, D.O.V, or were you just working with the recordings you already have and building around acapellas then? Maybe we don't have D.O.V yet. Looks like he's on the way to the store or something. This guy went for beer.
He went for a walk. Reconnect. Hang up and reconnect.
Yeah, maybe try jumping back in. Your audio is fucking up.
I don't think you can even hear that. Is there a way we can just hang him up?
I mean, I probably can. I've never had to before. Never tried to. I can say remove. Let's see what that does. D.O.V, we're removing you. Rejoin us.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. What was the question for D? What was it?
I asked him if you guys had built around like acapellas, or if he re-recorded the vocals.
No, he Cortez actually built around the acapellas.
Okay, nice.
That we originally had. You know what I mean? But D, if he felt that it wasn't as tight, he went back in the booth and obviously re-recorded some of the lines.
Sure. So. Yeah, I mean, that's tough to do, to have people build beats underneath acapellas like that. Like, props to the producers and DJs who can get away with doing that and making it sound up to par. But,
word up. Yeah. No doubt. Cortez is really good at what he does, and same with Lord Minot. I know Lord Minot got like I said, we're working on that Susho remix with Che Uno with Lord Minot, and he built around the acapellas, the original acapellas of Susho.
Okay.
So and we're gonna have 2 bonus tracks on that when it comes up. But look for that. That's coming out soon.
Okay, nice. So tell me, I guess, more just about, I think you called it a collective, because calling it a group, I was like, but in the bio, it says there's definitely international members. I feel like once you go global, it's got to be a collective instead of a group or something.
It is a collective. Like I said, like, like the producers that we have, there's some producers out in Europe, South America. I got like artists too that we're working with that are South American artists also, right? The South American artist like Ant or Miga, she's out from Bogota, Colombia. Shout out to my homegirl.
Did you get to see her when you guys were in Colombia last week? That's where you said you were, right? Colombia?
Yeah. He said, shit, I can't. He said, shit, I can't rejoin.
Oh, for real? Well, now maybe we fucked it up. Maybe I wasn't supposed to boot him. Maybe he's booted for good now or something. I don't really know how this shit works. I
think we can add him.
Yeah, well, I should just be able to send him a link, send him the invite link, and that should just let him back in. Yeah. I'll shoot that to him on Instagram here again.
Yeah, so with my homegirl Amiga, we did actually link up in Bogota. She so that show out there was something that I did with a couple promoters. they wanted to see Large Professor out there. I said, all right, let me hit him up, and we made it work. So I decided, you know what, if I'm going to do that show and I got to go out there, do you want to go out there and perform? Sure, let's do it. Okay, so we did it. But I just made sure that, they got my homegirl on the bill. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She represents for the graffiti writers out there heavily.
Oh, dope. Nice.
Yeah, shout out to SPC. Them criminals, man, they're wild out there. Like, if hip hop was a city, Bogota would be it.
So
like, yeah.
I guess with the collective, like you kind of lit the fire on it, and I saw there was a quote that talked about Toronto's realest voices weren't being heard. Can you just tell me a little bit about like why that quote makes sense to you? Like, who was it about? Certain people being heard who you didn't think should be heard, or who?
Yeah,
who were the voices not being heard?
Like, it was a lot of that drill that like took over, right? A lot of that music, and,
Right.
It got so saturated over like airwaves, interviews, everywhere you heard it. You know what I mean? And truly, I got sick of it. And like a lot of the artists that were coming out from Toronto weren't getting heard. Even the artists, like, it was just getting like, how do you say? It was just fading out. Like, you had those guys, all these drill rappers, just talking nonsense, just coming up, and all these blogs giving them, pure light. And it's just like, dude, what really are these guys saying? Or what are they really doing? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear about popping Xannies or fucking sipping on lean. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a downer like that,
Yeah.
It's not hip hop, man.
Well, it's just a completely different sound too, like sonically, right?
It is like, and like, don't get me wrong, like, fuck, I heard some drill music that, the guys were dope, but they were saying shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't mind it. Like, I don't mind the beats. I don't mind that. It's just when it comes to the lyrics and the repetitiveness, and then, if you're pushing it over and over, pushing it to the point where, bro, these guys are not saying anything. How you guys pushing this shit? Like, yo,
yeah,
there's some real art. There's some real artists out here. You know what I mean? Like, that are actually, making dope music. Like, give them a listen. You know what I mean? Like, so it was just something like, I was like, fuck it. So, I just said, like, yo, these guys we're not getting that proper recognition. Like, we're not getting listened to. Everybody's trying to listen to this dumb shit that's being playing, and I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. I mean, you guys have that kind of classic boom bap, street oriented sound that has been done so often in hip hop. Do you think, is it tougher to stand out by trying to stick to, a sound that's so well established?
It is. Yeah, it is. Definitely. It is. You know what I mean? That's why we try to do something different. Like, some people are like, yo, 3 people's too long for a track. They don't got the attention span.
People want the 2-minute long songs.
Yeah, 2 minutes. I'm like, fuck that. I'm giving them a 6-minute song. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have put like 6 dope artists so you could hear. You know what I mean? Each of them have something to say. Sometimes even with course, like, people with hooks. I really don't care for a hook. Some people like hooks. You know what I mean? But I like tracks that are just straight tracks. Like, I don't mind listening without a hook, you know what I mean? Unless the song is about something, you know what I mean? But if it's just bars, I like to hear bars, you know what I mean?
I hear you, man, yeah. Dude, I can't figure out how to add him back into this, so I don't know what... He says it won't let him rejoin because he was booted.
You kicked him out.
Yeah, I guess. It says he was removed, so he can't rejoin. But I don't know, like, where the option to fucking ban him is. I don't know. I asked AI. Give me a second to read this shit. So I'll see if he pops in here in a second. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's back.
Wow, much better. My bad.
He's got removed. He said, "Yo, fuck you."
Did you go to Tim Hortons for free Wi-Fi? Where the fuck are you right now, bro?
I sure did. Guy, I walked over to the Tim's across the street. I'm like, yo, my internet. Worst timing ever. I don't know what's wrong with my internet right now. It started acting up yesterday.
Oh man,
and I didn't really think anything of it, but
all good.
Here we go.
All good. We'll chop that out in post. We'll get real professional with it and do some edits.
It's all good.
Yeah. So here, let me bring my questions back up here. We'll start with something new. Well, Chino, can you just tell me like all the members of Hella Treez?
Okay, so
yeah.
producer wise, like I said, you got me, you got Bobby Bishop, you got Explicit, who else? Lord Me Know, Cortez. Who else? Am I missing anybody there?
Well, you got Knots, you know what I mean? Gambit.
Well, yeah, no, as producers, as for producers.
As producers, yeah, Lord Me Know.
Verdinho.
Yeah, Verdinho, yeah, that's right.
And there's some other people that we're going to start to work with from. I think he's from Brazil, I believe. And then when it comes to artists, you got Knots, you got D.O.V, you got Plasma XL. Who else? Gambit are the members of Hella Treez, of like the collective. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like I said, and then we have people that we fuck with like on a regular that are like, branched off, but I don't consider them Hella Treez. You know what I mean? But they just been around since we've been around. You know what I mean? Like,
so how often are you guys doing full like posse cuts with with all four, I guess, MCs? Was it four?
There's some. There's which one? We got the one with Honey De Niro. She's a Brooklyn MC. We got that one, and that one has Knots, D.O.V, Gambit, and Plasma. It has all of them.
Okay.
Then we have other posse cuts with guys from the Wolf Pack, Swan and Resin also, D.O.V and Gambit. But you'll find a lot more tracks with D.O.V, Gambit, or D.O.V and Plasma together.
Sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you gearing up, or is there any intention to do an album with all four MCs on
everyone.
All the cuts, kind of?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Right now we're just, like I said, right now we're just showing everyone as an individual together, like, before I put them all together, you know what I mean? Because they're all different sounds. They all have different, styles too. D.O.V is different from Gambit. Gambit's different from Plasma. Plasma's different from Knots.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you on this compilation that we had, the only person that we didn't have on this last compilation, I think, who was it? Gambit.
It's Gambit, right? Yeah, but he was still there for everything. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
For some reason that one, it's only 6 tracks, and he's on a bunch of new shit, but for some reason, for that one, he just wasn't on it. But that's not to say anything negative to Gambit. That's just what happened.
Okay, so
on the third one, he's stepped on that one.
So D.O.V, I wanted to ask you, man, in 2019, and I feel like just kind of in this current era, there's fewer and fewer collectives. There's fewer and fewer groups. And I've always kind of just, explained that to myself, that it seems like it's easier and easier to be a solo act. And, hip hop often has big egos and people just kind of clash, and it's tough to keep crews together. But I wanted to ask you about like kind of joining in 2019. What did you feel the draw to join was?
It felt very natural. I was actually part of a different collective prior to that. And to be honest, that crew, it was something that I started with, friends that I went to high school with and shit. We started a small crew, and then it kind of got a little bit bigger. But at the same time, a couple of people phased out just, over time with life. You know what I mean? People having kids and other things, people kind of stepped away. And, basically I had a solid crew, but things weren't working out. There was a lot of conflicts of like, direction where to take things. And I felt like my voice wasn't really being heard. And I felt like I was doing the most work, doing the most to get things done. But I just kept getting the back burner. I had a lot of material, the shit I was working on with Rusty. That was all there at that time with that crew, but I wasn't being utilized to the fullest extent, and I felt really held back. So, basically Chino told me what I already knew. He saw it in me that I had what it took to really do more. And I knew what was holding me back. It was a tough decision to make at the time because it was something that I did feel, but I didn't vocally speak out to anyone. But
Right.
other people could see it. Chino was able to see it. And it felt like a relief when I linked up with Chino and made it official with all the Treez. It felt like a big relief, a big weight lifted off my shoulder. It was like I felt like a breath of fresh air. I felt like, a new me, a new opportunity to reestablish myself and really, impact the scene and really get more involved. And I would say, it was a big positive move forward,
Yeah.
And unfortunately to do that, I had to not necessarily burn bridges, but had to cut ties with certain people. And, safe to say those people aren't involved in the scene at all anymore. So, I think I made the right choice.
Yeah.
But,
You landed with the crew that's still around.
you know what I mean? It felt good.
Uh,
That's it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I love collectives. I'm a big Wu-Tang fan. I love posse cuts.
yeah.
I love to see that kind of energy. You know what I mean? So I think one of the reasons a lot of people tend to move solo and parting ways with groups is just, I think it's a lot to do with creative differences, similar to what I dealt with. But
Well, yeah, because
solo, you still got people.
with a collective, there's going to be kind of like creative compromise, right? With any collective like that, it's going to take a little bit of the creative control out of each individual artist's hands if you've got to be conscious of, well, what do I say on this record, that somebody else can also talk about. I had one MC in one of these interviews talk about how, like, you can't very well like rap about your ex who you just fell out with and then expect the next MC to like follow up with a verse after that, right? Like, you can only do so much on a posse cut as far as like the introspective kind of super personal art that some people make, right?
Right. It's true. It's true.
Facts, you know what I mean? And for me, it was more of a work ethic thing. It was like, I'm not going to say that the people I was working with weren't talented. I don't want to say too many names or nothing like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, I was in a crew and like, Che Uno was part of it and he was the first one to leave. And, I didn't know what the issue was exactly. They didn't really have anything to do with me. I looked up to Uno, but I linked up with him sometime after and got the scoop what was going on, and it really helped reinforce my decision. And I was able to rekindle that friendship and working relationship. So it's always been positive with me and Uno. He just saw it, and I made my own decision after that. And it happened to be the same choice he made, and it was it was always positive after that. You know what I mean? I don't want to speak ill of other people or
yeah, no, I don't want you to either. This show's all about sharing the love and good vibes more so than it is about leaning into beef. I think I'd be more popular if I got guys to tell me who they're beefing with, but that's all the big hip hop accounts. It's every post is about who's beefing with who and who just shot who and who's arrested. Like,
negative shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. I try to keep it on, who works well with each other and that type of stuff. But can I ask about kind of the division of labor for Hella Treez as a crew? Like, is one of you guys mostly kind of behind the scenes booking and doing the shitty stuff no one wants, the uploads to get the music online, all that fucking grind?
Go ahead, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I would say like Chino's definitely like the head of managing things like that. But we take it on ourselves. But Chino's always been the person where it's like he knows who to talk to when it comes to shows. He's the one with the connections with a lot of people. He's been in the scene for a long time, and he's introducing to a lot of people, not just in Toronto but out in New York, even in Colombia. He's got that, and that's something that he earned throughout his life, just being good with people. So it's been reciprocated, and he brought me into that. So I would give Chino a lot more credit for organizing things in that manner. Even so much as the engineer that we work with, Cortez, that was his dude, and so that's been a really good experience for me too. On my end, I definitely handle being an MC as my main duty. But I also do executive produce. I also help fund it with Chino. We go in We split on things and costs and things like that,
Yeah.
as well as like, getting around, setting things up, doing what we got to do, all the footwork, I'm there.
Right.
Either
Right.
even if I'm not on the song, I'm still part of it behind the scenes. And
Yeah.
that's something that, Chino taught me, you know what I mean, got me in. So, we split duties, but Chino's definitely more of the head when it comes to organizing and, project management. And we just bounce ideas off of each other, and we get what we get. You know what I mean?
Have you guys been doing a lot of shows lately?
Mm,
Yeah.
Not
I
really.
mean, not
Not so
crazy.
much. Not so much. Like I said, the last two ones that we did were one was in Medellin and the other one was in Bogota.
Yeah.
Before that, what was it? I think we did. It was some small local. I think it was too.
What was
But
what was the
yeah,
we did
reception
like
in
that
Colombia
Peterborough.
like? Doing shows
Oh man,
in Bogota, that's got to be something different, compared to doing shows in Toronto.
and
wow.
Bogota was incredible. The scene in Bogota, I mean, like, Medellin was dope too, but Bogota was special, man. The scene out there, the people out in Bogota, I love Bogota, man. It was beautiful. The hip hop scene there is so strong, and not just the
Right.
music, like the graffiti, the breakdancing, the whole culture
Yeah,
is there, man, and it's vibe. It's big, like they love what we do. And it was a big eye opener because there's people out there that knew us. We were all with Real Wolf and shit, and dudes are coming up to us in the street, asking for
yes.
pictures and autographs and shit.
Autographs and stuff. It was pretty dope.
That is
It
dope.
was
Yeah.
wild, man.
It was pretty dope. Like right when we entered like that vicinity, like that area, that little strip, little alleyway in Bogota, we just got
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yo, yeah, Real Wolf, hella Treez, yo, D.O.V, Chino, like, yo, can we get a picture? Can we get an autograph? Like it was wild. And like right there, also, right there beside us is like Joe Fado and Large,
Yeah,
doing the same thing, and it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope to see that.
yeah, yo. Shout outs to
To
Hormiga.
feel that.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
shout out to Amiga, man. The
Everybody,
Bochica
DJ
gang.
Yan, you know what I mean? Like everybody out there supporting, like playing our music, showing people out there physically our shit. You know what I mean? I mean,
Word.
it was an eye opener. I didn't know it was gonna be like that, and just being out there and seeing the love, how real it was. It was crazy.
So
It was actually amazing.
something I talk to a lot of Canadian hip hop guys with about is that your hometown doesn't accept you until the outside accepts you, until
world.
the rest of the world accepts you. Is that something you guys have experienced?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Like, we know we got people out in Japan that play our shit, DJs out there that play our shit. We know we got a fan base, and I can see the numbers. I
Right.
look at my analytics and shit, and I can only imagine what it might be like when we get to go out there. Colombia, I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't really I knew there was a couple DJs and whatnot, but I didn't expect the reception that we got, and it was amazing, man. It was like something I never thought would happen. The kind of thing you kind of dream about as a teenage kid. Like I want to rock a show with hundreds of people and they're gonna be chanting my shit, and it was actually happening out there. Share the stage with like Joe Fado. That was like mind blowing to me. Coming off stage, bumping into Large Professor, he was smiling, nodding his head. He was like, good shit.
Dope.
That was like the biggest thing. Like worth more than $1 million. You know what I mean? I felt good.
Yeah.
Right, for real.
Cosigns from legends. That's got to feel good for sure.
Incredible, and I'm not even trying to brag. You know what I mean? I was just having a good time. I just wanted to represent, but it was so much positive vibes coming at me. Like I'm a quiet guy. I'm pretty chill. When I get on the mic, it's a different story. But I'm pretty reserved. I don't really put myself out there that much. You know what I mean? My social media is really just all about my music. I don't really share my life or nothing like that. But out there, it felt like everyone knew who we were, and it was mind blowing. You know what I mean?
Had you done international shows before anywhere? Oh, okay,
That was my first. That was my first. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely not the last.
Dope. Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
I got to do a couple shows out in New York too. So
Okay.
New York was probably my first. You know what I mean? Out of Canada.
Nice.
And
the Mecca that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'll tell you something about New York, man. 2019, Chino brought me out to New York, and I'm not even scared to say it, man. I was broke. I wasn't in good position. Um, my life at that time, I was going through some hard times, and anyone else in my shoes probably would have said, "Nah, I'm gonna pass. It's too risky." But I was at a point where I was like, if I don't do this, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I went out there on a budget, and this guy brought me around real heads, man. He brought me around steel and tech. I got to meet Bernadette. I got to meet little Sean Price, Sean P's daughter.
Yeah.
I was around Jooks, of course, not my first time, but it was just different being out there. It was a big eye opener. And, bumping into Little Fame at the bodega, just like how alive the scene was. And here I am bumping into my idols. I got to, link with Planet Asia out there. It was amazing. Again, amazing experience. But that was really Chino just kind of saying, yo, come through, giving me that invite. And I was basically one of the only people he was hitting up. And there was a reason for that. So, it showed me my worth and real positive reinforcement. And I can happily say, I'm in a much better position now.
Nice. Good to hear. Good to hear. Music can do that, man. Right. Music gives people stability. I'm a big advocate for people to get involved in music because it gives you something to wake up and have as a goal, drive toward this fucking thing rather than kind of, I think some people get directionless in life and, can bring people down. Yeah.
Straight. And that also could trickle, like give that trickle effect. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Especially if you're around a bunch of people too, and like, you know what I mean? You guys are all together as a unit. One guy's going down, the rest are going to go down with you. You know what I mean? It just
and a little added pressure because that you've got people who rely on you and stuff. So that can go a long ways for sure.
It was kind of like, what it felt like for me? It felt like I was on like a sinking ship, and this guy pulled out a paddle and was like, "Yo, grab on," and pulled me right out of that, yo. You know what I mean? So that was that's a big thing for me.
Hey, nice to hear. Nice to hear, guys. What can people look out for coming up? What are you guys working on right now?
Man, we got Death Before Detox Part 3 coming.
Yeah.
That's dropping probably in May. But before that, I'm trying to finish up, like I said, the Sushi remix project with Che Uno. And I'm trying to finish that up. What else we got?
I got a project with Uno in the works right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Thinking probably summer. I don't want to spoil too much. It's called Primo de Morte. It's going to be a little different. I'm going in with a lot of Portuguese. I'm fluent in it, but rapping in it was definitely a different challenge. And I'm in the middle of doing it right now, working on it, and it's sounding amazing. Uno, of course, with the Spanglish, killing it. The producer, his name is Isaac No Beat. He's out of Brazil. Another Portuguese-speaking artist. And I don't want to spoil too much. We're going to have some dope MCs on there. You're going to like it.
Nice.
Especially for, Spanish and Portuguese speaking people. I think it's going to be definitely, a passion project, for our culture and for the hip hop culture, So definitely look out for that.
Hey, let me ask you. Sorry, let me interject here and ask you, D.O.V. I was talking to who was it? Mackie Lavender from Montreal a while back, and I asked him about because he can rap bilingually, right? He can rap in French or English, just like you said, you can rap in Portuguese. And so I asked him, like, is it easier to rap in one or the other? And do you think that that's just because you're more fluent, or do you think that that's something that has like to do with the actual language itself? Like how does Portuguese work in raps? Do you find it works well?
Portuguese for me, I grew up speaking it with my family, and so I never used it in a way like with the music. I might have thrown in a couple words here and there for fun.
Sure.
But it was always like just kind of like a personal thing to me. Like, it's how I speak with my family. Growing up, my mom never spoke English. And so I never looked at it as like I should rap in Portuguese. Uno kind of brought that to me, and I was like, I never really tried to do like a full verse in Portuguese. And so I tried it, and it wasn't easy at first because I had to really kind of change my demeanor. I'm not talking with my family anymore. I'm trying to be fly. You know, I'm trying to
Yeah.
talk slick. I'm trying to be clever with it. So
Same way it takes
it was
guys a while to develop the voice in English too, right? To sound right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true too. I mean, for me, I will say, like personally, like yeah, you know, doing it in English is definitely my forte, of course. But doing it in Portuguese is a lot of fun. It's definitely a challenge, and I like to take on a challenge. You know what I mean? So I think you know, taking it serious, sitting down with the pen and really focusing in on it. It's I won't say it's that difficult, but it's definitely different, and it kind of opens up a different kind of side of me. It has me saying things a little bit different, hitting topics kind of different, you know.
Well, it could open up
But
some doors for
yeah,
you for international audiences too, right? If
oh,
you're going to be out
Oh,
there
for
doing
sure,
more
for sure,
tours, yeah.
for
definitely,
sure.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
You know.
that could be big. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off. You had more projects to talk about, though. It sounded like.
Oh, I think
Yeah. I think. Well,
that's
I got another project right now with Rusty Jokes as well. Part two of the top tier.
Dope.
I got basically all that material ready to go. It's just timing. Now I want to make sure that we like to release things in a good timeline. You know, we try to do things in advance, and you know what I mean. So I don't have a set date for that yet. Might be this year, could be next year. You know what I mean? But it's coming. You know, we definitely got it, and you know, other than that, we also got other singles with jokes as well that's going to be on other projects. So, you know, definitely expect to see that.
Dope. Yeah.
we got Plasma Excel's coming out with his. We're working on his album right now too.
Yep, yep.
Pebs,
Yeah,
like I said,
Pebs got a bunch of shit.
Well,
Pebs is an artist I just started working with recently.
Yeah,
And I'm working on a project with her separate aside from Hella Treez for herself.
okay.
But she has a project coming out. Knots also has Admiral Knots has a project coming out. That was good because I have a track there with Havoc, him and Havoc,
Nice.
and on one of my productions. So that's gonna be dope. We also have, I believe, J-Ru's on that too. J-Ru the Damager, Killer Priest.
yep.
He's on that on that project. So yeah, man, we got
That's a heavy one, man. When that one drops,
yeah, like that one's been in the works for a minute now, like over like 7 years.
Yeah.
So
do you guys feel like those New York cosigns do a lot to get your music in more ears, or is it just that's the music you grew up with, that's who you want to work with, or what's the draw? Because you got a lot of features here.
Yeah, like like I said, like it's just we wanted to work with them. We always wanted to get them on a track. You know what I mean? Like, why not do it? Like, if they're accessible, you know what I mean? It's reachable, you know what I mean? And like I said, with Rusty, D.O.V, like their relationship is like, great. Like I said, like, I mean, my relationship with the artists too that I've talked to across the border too, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, listen, I got a beat. You guys want to jump on it? Sure, Chino. And they love collabing with us, Ever since we started dropping like these compilations, they always wanted to jump on a track with a Canadian artist. Chino, can you get me with a dope Canadian artist? Like, for sure. Why not? Here's this guy that I think might sound good with you. You know what I mean? Like Sonny Brown likes working with D.O.V and anybody with Hella Treez. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Same with Innocent too. Like he likes to work. He likes Plasma Excel. Like I got him to work with Plasma. Illa G, worked well with D.O.V and Swan. Top Dog was like, yo, Chino, send me a beat. Like, all right, cool. I'll send you a beat, and he picked the beat. Like, and like I said, they just jump on it. Like, like a lot of people think like, yo, you paying for all these features, and no, and like the ones that I do are the ones from here in Toronto.
Okay.
But like I said, if somebody has a tag, by all means, we respect that. You know what I mean? Because an artist should get paid no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm not here searching for free verses. I'm not asking for free verses either. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I always say, yo, what's the note on it? Because you as an artist should be entitled to that, man. Like I want something from you. Like, fuck yeah, let me pay you. If it's $100, $200, $300, whatever. You know what I mean? I respect that. You know what I mean? Even when it comes to making covers and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never asked for anything for free. Oh, yo, can you make me a cover? Yo, this and this. Nah, man. I don't care if I did something for you. I'm still gonna pay you, my dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if they want, they'll say, yo, Chino, man, I got you on this. Don't worry. You know, like a couple artists recently said, you know what I mean? They're like, yo, we got you on the next one. No worry. Just send us the beat. We got you. No problem. Like,
yeah. That means that they like what they heard from the first one or whatever.
Sure, right?
So it goes a long way.
A lot of people, I think, D, you can vouch for me on this. A lot of people give us that. Like, you know what I mean? They'll put it in our hands like, yo, Chino, I trust you enough to like do this and make it sound great or make it sound proper. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And I'll do what I do, and my engineer will do what he does, and we'll send back like the product. And if they don't like it, yo, give me your notes. You know what I mean? We can fix it. You know, usually when it comes down to working with us, and when we work with other artists, I like them to come into that mixing and mastering session. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in that way, you got your input in there. Like, you know what I mean? You're not just going by my ears. You're not going just by D.O.V ears or my engineer's ear. You're going by your ear also. So you got a say in this. Your voice is in there, man. I'd rather you have a say in it that day than me have to fucking send you a file and like,
yeah,
okay, you don't like it.
Hope you like it after the fact, right? It's easier to get people's okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But so that's why I usually like having the people there at that session. You know, it's usually 2-3 hour session for the mixing and mastering. We sit down there and we nitpick it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you guys been home recording a lot, or do you have a studio you hit up?
Well, here's the thing, like D.O.V has his own workstation at home.
Yeah.
I have my own workstation at home. We'll do all the recordings at one of our stations and just, you know, bring that into headquarters, which is Four Sounds Media. Shout out to all the guys at Four Sounds Media, Solitaire, William Nero, Mailman, and Cortez. Yo, big ups. And it's a studio that I've been going for a while. Oh, I can't even forget, about another artist. His name is Money Mills, but he also goes by Kazike. He's from Rexdale. He's a native. He's one of our native artists out there. And he's dope. He brought me to Cortez years ago. And I remember the first time when I actually went and recorded an actual song with Cortez was back in 2012 when Plasma was first released after 7 years. And from then on, like, I loved his sound. Like, you know what I mean? He had that feel good boom bap. He makes our boom bap sound nice.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's just something that I've always, stayed with. And it's not like I won't go work out somewhere else, but they got to be on that same level. If I'm gonna, I won't downgrade.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Once you have the professional mix and master going on, and you're used to hearing your music sound professional like that, yeah, you don't want to step back.
Well, that's too. Sure. And like when we get it back from him, we get the whole pack, instrumental, a cappella, show mix. We get all these in that DJ pack, like whatever it is. So it'll be waves and it'll be MP3s. A lot of engineers won't do that for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they'll give you all those. Or you might call them and be like, yo, I need a show mix. Oh, well, I'm going to charge you.
Right. Yeah. They don't just send it over off the bat. Yeah.
I got to charge you this. Right. Oh, well, I need the instrumental. Oh, well, if you want I was like, man, I can't deal with that. You know what I mean? My dude, I pay him the one price and I get my 6-7 songs that I need. Waves, MP3s.
Yeah.
It's all on the cloud. It's all organized whenever we need it. You know what I mean? And like I said, Four Sound Media for me have been great. Those guys are amazing. William De Niro, Solitaire, like those guys are solid to me. Like, those guys did solids for me. Every time I called them and I said, listen, I need to get into the studio. Let's just say I got Havoc. I need to get him in the morning. Like, we're coming right. All right, we're coming up to open up the fucking studio for you.
For Havoc, I would be surprised if
you know what I mean?
Motherfucker should jump out of bed if it's 3 in the morning or whatever and run down to the studio if that's when Havoc needs it.
Right.
Even that, like, sometimes after the shows that we've done, like I had to call them at like, at 1, 2 in the morning, be like, yo, listen, this show is going to be done in like a half an hour. I need you guys to open that studio. I'm coming through with so-and-so.
Right.
All right, Chino, no problem. Right away. You know what I mean? And like I said, it's just, we've worked so long together and we built a beautiful like relationship with Four Sounds. It's just the way it is, man. We keep it in the family. It's like I said, it's a family tree, man.
You always hear that having that team is so important, and just this entire conversation with you guys, so many shout outs to different people that help keep the cogs moving on your guys' team.
For sure.
Yeah, I think.
For sure. It's just not just us, man. There's a lot of players in the movement. And like shout out to Uno. Uno gives us Uno does our artwork. You know what I mean? Okay. And like I said, I like going to one person for my artwork. I give it to Uno, and I don't got to worry about it. You know what I mean? Right. He doesn't. That's right. Like I just tell him he would D.O.V. or I would tell him the idea, and bam, comes out something fucking magnificent. You know what I mean? And I don't have to say, I don't like it. And if I do, I do, but like rarely.
Well, and even when you do have to nitpick something like that, like it helps to actually have a friendly relationship with the person, that it's actually your squad rather than just some random person you cold called.
Random person where I have to call.
Yeah. Okay, guys, there's a segment I do with everybody. I kind of rapid fire a few how important is this or that questions. Let me just kick this one off and ask, how important is a local reputation?
Very important.
I say it's very important. Yeah, for sure. Damn. I mean, that's your home base, right? You want to be accepted in your own city. Right, people, you know what I mean? Not everyone's going to fuck with you, You might have issues with some people, but, you can tell when certain artists just don't have their support in their city versus other artists who just, putting in work and just, you can see it. You know what I mean?
100%.
That being said, shout outs to fucking A-Son Eastwood, shout outs to fucking Danielson, that's just a few artists out here that we really fuck with that, have reciprocated.
A.O. Biggs, Bondo.
A.O. Biggs for sure, Bondo,
Daisy, New Villain, Outlaw, the whole squad. That's home team, man. Like, you know what I mean? Shout out to those guys. Those guys are making amazing music, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Toronto's underground is cooking right now. There's so much talent out there that
pretty ugly. You know what I mean?
Man.
Oh man, like it's just
shout out to all those young people, producers, man. Like Tony Beats. Tony Beats is a madman. You know what I mean? Shout out to those guys. Yeah, what's his name? Yeah, no doubt.
Damn. Here, let me hit you with this one. How important is getting features from big name artists? I mean, I feel like I know this, but speak on it.
It's got to be natural, you know what I mean? It's important, but I mean, it's not the end all be all. Like, no one should be coming into it thinking they got to have the biggest feature at the end of the day because it might not go anywhere,
Sure.
It takes time, you got to build those relationships, and like people can see through it when it's not real, I had people come at me at one point. They were like, yo, how you get to work with Buckshot? Who are you to work at Planet Asia? How much you pay these guys? It's like, bro, it's not like that. You know what I mean? I got lucky. That's what I'll say. I got really lucky. But at the end of the day, too, I had to do my own work and put out a product. You know what I mean? It wasn't on them in that way to really put it out there. You know what I mean?
Like when we did that track with Buckshot, I remember, like, I'm the one that quarterbacked that, because that's, I talked to Buck. And when Buck was in town, I was like, yo, Buck, I got a couple artists that would like a feature, And he's like, all right, Chino, are they good? Number one. I'm like, yeah. He goes, you vouch for them? Yeah. All right. I trust you. You know what I mean? Let's do it. So then when I did it and the product came in and then the cover came in and I presented it to him, he's like, this is dope. Those were his words. He goes, this is dope. He goes, I like being on projects like this. It's not sloppy. It's not messy. The mix is on point. Like, you know what I mean? The cover is on point. Like, you know what I mean? So we presented an actual good product to him.
Yeah.
And he was with it. You know what I mean? Right. Like I said, like, we don't need the features. You know what I mean? But if it's there and they're down to do it, Why not? Like, we don't go out to go look for the features. Like, even with Timbo King, like Timbo King saw me at SOBs in New York. He's like, Chino, yo, you're here. Yo, last time we didn't get to work together, but yo, this time, what do you say? Could we get a track going? And I'm like, all right, let's get a track, you know, whatever. Let's do it. You know?
Yeah.
Straight. And that's how it starts, you know. Even with Sean Price's brother, Stuck B. By the way, we got a dope track coming out with him.
Oh yeah.
Sean Price has a brother who raps? I didn't know that shit. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, check him out. His name is Sean his name is Stuck B.
Stuck B. Okay. I will check him out. Yeah. Does he sound at all like Sean?
Brother, just like Sean.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You know, he's got a little style, but when you hear his voice, it's like, oh shit, that is his brother.
Okay, nice.
I mean, you know, they kind of look alike, which is a trip too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And him and Anthony Brown, you know, those two together are like, you know, inseparable. And like I said, I met Thunny Brown down in New York, in Brooklyn, and like I said, we built a relationship, and he introduced me to a lot of people also. You know, him and Illa introduced me to Rome Streets back before Rome blew up. And I remember Rome telling me, he's like, yeah, man, I'm the next one to blow up. Trust me, Chino. And I'm like, I believe it. You know what I mean? I believe it.
Yeah.
And like, and he blew up. You know what I mean?
Do you just spend mad amounts of time in New York? Like, are you still back and forth between New York and Toronto?
Well, I haven't been back for like about a year now.
Okay.
So, you know, but now that the weather's going, I got my passport reinstated. I'll be going frequently again. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, like I said, I have people that I actually go down there to visit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So here's a question that I've been asking people. I know, you know, some artists are more politically inclined than others, but I like to just open the door for artists to spout off about this if you want to, but anything to say about what's going on in America right now? And I mean, the rest of the world that America is trying to take over, it seems, I guess.
It's fucked up, and this world's going to shit.
Yeah, man.
Packing guns. Like, you know, just be ready, man.
but you're still planning to go down there too, because often the follow-up I ask is, would you do a show in America?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I want to say, you know, fuck ICE. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just crazy to me. That sounds like totalitarian, like dictatorship shit going on. But, you know, I'm not worried. You know, the love is real out there.
Straight up.
Fuck, I'm not worried. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, I thought Colombia was going to be sketchier than it was, and it was a lot of love. Obviously, you don't want to take things for granted, and you know what I mean? You always want to make sure you're on point. But, you know, that being said, it's not always as bad as people paint it to be. Obviously, America's got its issues. It's always had its race issues. There's always been a big thing over there for that. It's never been as bad here, but it does trickle down. So what I don't like to see is, you know, these racist type of ideologies, you know, integrating into our culture. You know, people out here saying, you know, Canada first. What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like my family's all immigrant. You know, all my friends growing up, we were all like first generation, and being Canadian meant much more than just like being white or anything like that. You know what I mean? It meant, you know, freedom and having a voice and, you know, being able to be your true self, you know, and, you know, things have changed, but, you know, we try not to let the politics get in the way of anything, you know?
No, but it's ugly, man. Somebody should be talking about it.
For sure.
The growing racism movement and this anti-immigration shit. I hate all that, man. There's just today, there was a guy, I think it was like earlier this week, he just got shot. He was driving down like the main highway between Edmonton and Calgary, just outside of Edmonton, and some fucking hillbilly pulled up and just like shot him. There were three guys, turbans, they're Sikhs, driving their car, headed for Calgary, and some guy in a fucking pickup truck pulled up beside them at 3 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Damn.
And just fucking shot one of them to death, and I guess he got arrested in Saskatchewan today. He's an 18-year-old white kid, the shooter. So I mean, I don't know the motive, but it sounds fucking like a hate crime to me.
Hate crime, for sure.
Yeah, but
you know, everybody's angry right now. Things aren't easy. The economy's, shit's not the greatest. Cost of living is high.
Yeah. And
You know what I
up and
mean?
up
We're
and
going
up.
through it.
Yeah.
It's up and up and up. They made some mistakes with the immigration stuff, but you don't want to close your doors to people who want to work and actually create a future. I mean, same thing with my family. They came here willing to work, wanting to be more, wanting to contribute. And, it's no different now.
Yeah.
The stuff going on back home for a lot of people that seek Canada as a place of future and refuge and prosperity, they're not coming from good places and they need help. Now, maybe things weren't really set in place for the amount of immigrants we might have taken in, but that's not really on the immigrants. You open the door, they're going to want to come in. What do you mean? There's
Exactly.
like a fire, there's a house fire behind them. They want to get out, and you're closing the door on them because you don't have enough blankets for everybody. But fuck, man, they want to get out of that fire. Like we need to come together and figure out better solutions. We can't be angry at other people and throwing the blame. We're all in this together.
100%,
someone might be, like poor white people shouldn't be getting mad at poor brown people. We're all in this together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the billionaires taking our money, not the immigrants.
That's it. The 1%.
Exactly.
The 1%, they put these ideas out, where it's like, oh, you know what? I'm on your team because you look like me, and it's those other guys' fault,
Yeah.
What the fuck, man? Like, it's hard coming to a new country not speaking the language. It's hard, it's hard coming with a good education in another country and coming here and it has no value, and you got to start from the bottom.
Yeah.
And everyone's angry, but we got to come together. We need unity. We need more community. We need a lot more things on the table to bring the like-mindedness together. You know what I mean? Because we're all in the same boat together. You know what I mean?
100%, man. Yep. Here, let me get back to a couple more of these how important questions just to skip around here, topic to topic.
Yeah.
Let's do, how important is being friends with the guys in your group? 13 years of crew dynamics. If anybody can comment on this, it would be you guys, I think. Or sure, more than 13 years. What the hell? Why do I have 13 years written here? You guys been around since what? 2012 was?
2012. Yeah. 2012 is when I started, and then D.O.V didn't come to like 16.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
When I met
him. Well, like, I don't know, 2014, I guess we met, but we didn't really start doing that much until 2015, 2016, I'd say. That's when we really started consistent.
Yeah, man, the bond has to be good, man, because if not, I don't think I could do like a 9-hour trip, 12-hour trip in a car with somebody that I can't get along with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is important. For sure. I mean,
straight up.
It happens naturally, but it's definitely important. Like, it's got to go down the right way.
Yeah, 100%. This is an interesting question to ask an MC and a DJ. How important is having a DJ on stage for your live show?
Oh, very important.
Very important.
Very important. It's very important. You want to have that kind of quality control. You want to have that routine. You want to be able to have that opportunity to rehearse and actually do that with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super crucial, for sure. I mean, I've done it in the past without a DJ. Whoever's there running the sound, just pressing play. But it's not the same. It's not organic.
It's you'll feel the difference. You know what I mean? Like I DJ so many times for other groups and stuff like that, and they don't have their DJ. Yeah. And I feel bad. I'm not their DJ, so I don't like to present myself up there really. So sometimes you'll see me just push play and duck down.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you're just playing somebody's USB stick or whatever. Yeah.
Right. And honest to God, I try to when they book me or when they book me, I try to stay away from it. You know what I mean? Like I don't like DJing for people that I'm not associated with, like in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And sometimes even their music too is not something that I could put my face on it and have me up there presenting it with you. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
And it can have different like variables, like either the sound is not on point, your lyrics are whack, beats is trash. You know what I mean? There's certain things that, yeah, sorry, I can't. And you just see me go, like, you know what I mean? If you see Chino just drop, he ain't feeling you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So,
That's right.
you know, it actually helps, like having a DJ that can either help you, do your backups, do your drops, also,
Do you mic up when you're up there, Chino?
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah.
like
Oh
it.
yeah.
I have to.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Without Chino, the Columbia shows would not have gone as well for me if it wasn't for Chino. Like I needed him there to do my backups. I didn't have a hype man or nothing,
Right,
He was able to back me up behind the tables, you know what I mean? Just doing his thing, helping me with the chorus, you know what I mean? And doing the ad libs and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's huge, I don't know if every DJ will do that, but I mean, with Chino, preparing ourselves for it, practicing that shit, it came off really, really good. We came off as a solid unit.
And we got a good feedback from it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
People enjoyed it. So.
It feels good, when I can look back at Chino and just kind of give him the nod. Like, okay, let's go into that thing. He already knows what page we're on.
Yeah.
And that's huge,
Yeah, it's a communication, communication
right.
without words. You know what
That's
I mean?
right. That's right.
You just got to give me that look like, all right, I'm done this song now. Just cut it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like when you have that chemistry with a DJ, your shows tend to, shine a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. There's a reason that it's
fun.
the hip hop tradition. Of course.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, guys.
Like the Toronto Kid Capri, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. That's high praise. Nice.
Yeah.
I always say it, and it's one of the reasons I started my mix show and started doing the weekly show, was that we need more mixtape style DJs in the Canadian hip hop scene, who are willing to put together projects with all sorts of different artists involved, and kind of be that central hub or whatever. And
that's what Hella Treez was doing. You know what I mean? Like the compilations that we've done. Like I don't have a hand right now. I think I do. I feel that well, man. No, I don't. I have Kunos on hand actually. But like the compilations the compilations that we put together, like I said, it brings artists from New York and Canada together.
That's right.
Yeah.
On a track or on the same album. You know what I mean? Like if not, like Milano Constantine, like he would give me one of his new tracks just to put on one of my projects. Chino, take this one, put this on. I'll give you this track. Same with Innocent. Yo, Chino, here, take this track, put it on your album. You know what I mean? I want Canada to hear this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Joe Pesci, you know what I mean?
Joe Pesci's the same way. You know what I mean? Chino, here, use this song, to put on your album.
Yeah, and that's shit that you won't find. You won't find these specific 2 compilations that we did, the first 2. You won't find those on like Apple Music, Spotify. That's strictly on vinyl. You know what I mean? You got to come see us at the show. You know what I mean? Whatever. It's like super exclusive. But
shout out to Harvey Dentist on that one.
Yeah, shout out to Harvey Dentist. 420 Zombie Apocalypse. That artwork was fucking top notch, man. Just incredible. And everything he's done with 6 Letter, with Fresco, Raz, fucking amazing, And yeah, man.
Yeah.
Epic.
He's got to be doing good work, because I recognize his name, and he's a guy who makes cover art for Canadian hip hop. So
oh yeah, definitely. The whole Baker's Club, everything, that whole movement, everything with Hot Rocks and Harvey.
Yeah.
Man, these guys, you know what I mean? And shout outs to fucking Dankery Harv as well, from Frank and Dank.
Word.
Again, another artist out here just making incredible music and, willing to fuck with us,
Yeah, that's dope cover art. I like that.
Yeah, this is crazy. This one, like I said, we have Milano Constantine, we got Illa G, got Top Dog. Who else? We got Stan the Man. He's a producer from New York. We got Stacks from Bushwick Click. Who else? Stunny Brown, Stuck B, Innocent, Rusty.
So when's the Canada-wide tour coming? If I can't fucking buy these things online, how am I supposed to get them in my hands, guys? You got to get out to Alberta at some point there.
You know what? Yes.
Fuck yeah. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, he's in Alberta.
Southern Alberta, Lethbridge.
Oh, shit.
And then also this one here, we got the 420 Experience.
Okay, yeah.
So these were done with in a collaboration with Honey You Bake, which is one of my homegirls that does baked goodies.
Okay.
And what she did was one Christmas, she came up with like an advent calendar, like Wii box kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay, nice.
But then she said she wanted to try something different. She goes, Chino, I wanna make a box. You know, I want to put a bunch of shit in it. But what else can people, trip up to? You know what I mean? I go, well, good music, Oh, okay, what kind of music? I'm like, well, I don't know, hip hop, whatever, maybe our music, maybe we can put some of our music. And she's like, cool, but like, what can we do? Like, how do we get some physical in there to the customer so they can enjoy it? While they're smoking these trees or eating these brownies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. Usually, fucking stoners, they like vinyls. A lot of the stoners like vinyls. They like to just chill, play a vinyl, and smoke out. And she's like, okay, well, she goes, can we do a vinyl? And I'm like, fuck yeah, but they cost. And she was an investor, so she invested into the vinyls, and I invested in the music with D.O.V.
Yeah.
D.O.V. came. D.O.V. was a part of it. You know what I mean? So
right.
me and D, we selected who we wanted on it, who would sound great. You know what I mean? And let's just brainstorm ideas for tracks. And so we did it. We recorded. Some of these were all new tracks that we recorded, and like I said, some were given from like Milano, you know what I mean. So we put the compilation together, and she sold this box, and it was an exclusive box. There were 150 $150. You get the vinyl, and you get all these weed edibles and whatnot in this box. It was crazy.
Nice.
And like this shit moved. You know what I mean? It moved.
Yeah.
It moved units. And
right.
so we did the second one, which is the Zombie Apocalypse Part 1, On the Run. And
were people telling you they were turning into zombies off these edibles? Is that where that name came from?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
Yeah.
When we did the Zombie Apocalypse, we're going with the theme of what was happening in our time in real life.
Yeah, that was during COVID.
Okay.
During COVID, people were getting scared, lockdowns and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we dropped we dropped the album, but also to add to the box, we dropped a USB, and in the USB we had a mixtape. And in that mixtape was all the songs, but as a mixtape, like DJ would
actually mixed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
mixed. And shout out to DJ Shortcut, because I got Shortcut to do it.
Dope.
I could have did it myself, but you know what I mean? Like, I like to, like the family's big. Like I said, the tree's big. And, we even got DJs, you know what I mean? And I like having other DJs, give them a platform too to shine or to show their skill. You know what I mean?
Doing the mixtape version is a lot of fun because we actually added a bunch of skits to it, a bunch of not the stuff that we sampled necessarily, but it was I did a lot of voice acting, playing characters and shit. Brought a lot more humor to it, and just made
We're
it
having fun with it.
Mad fun, mad fun.
Yeah, so this is the mixtape massacre right here, which is basically a cassette tape that basically comes into a USB form.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So we got DJ Shortcut on A. DJ
Wait, is it actually a cassette tape too, though? Like to
no.
Okay, yeah.
That would be dope, though. That would be dope.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
dope.
Just the USB version. USB, okay, that's cool. I like that.
With the inserts and all. Like, shout out to everybody that's on there. You know what I mean? Everybody's logos on there. The tracks are on there. So that was for the first one, which was the 420 Experience. And then for the Zombie Apocalypse, we got bombs, little grenades.
Nice.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We got little grenades, to blow shit up.
And that's a USB too, eh?
And that's a USB too.
Yeah, okay, nice.
And the thing is, like, with the USBs, like, we put like we put little extras in there, like, videos, BTS footage, interviews, shit that you won't see us post online. You'll see on the USB. You know what I mean?
We even got a Redman on the intro for that one. That's not on the vinyl. That's only on the mixtape.
It's only on the mixtape. The intro from Redman.
Sick. Damn.
Crazy,
And,
you know?
and that intro actually is a true story because when he came back, I think it was in 2012 actually. Oh no,
Yep.
2016. Right? 2012, 2016. I can't remember now. It was one of my first shows getting back into DJing and producing. Yeah, it was 2012 when I actually came back into doing it because I had a child. I had my baby girl back in 2008, and I decided to quit DJing and stuff like that.
As
and
one does. Yeah. A lot of the guys I talk to have taken 10 years off as they raise a little kid
you know
or
what
whatever.
I mean? And I tried to do what I had to do, and things didn't work out, and I said, "Fuck that! I'm going back to my music. It's the only thing that keeps me, straight, narrow. You know what I mean? If not, I'm gonna do something stupid." So I got back into it, and then I never stopped. I met Redman, and he gave me like one of the best, like the craziest advice ever. Was it doesn't matter how old you are in this shit. You know what I mean? Art has no age limit.
That's right.
So if you have to start now, he goes, if you're starting back again, start it now, but don't stop. And since 2012, I never stopped. You know what I mean? I never stopped. I kept going and going. Even though like people would hit me with obstacles, I kept going. Life hit me with obstacles, I kept going.
That's all there is to it, man. Just overcome one thing after the next, right?
Total my personal business, but like, I was in a custody battle for my kids for a while. And through all that, like I was still trying to drop music no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like through all that shit, like he just said, no matter how old you are, man, just don't stop, man. Thing doesn't have art. The art that we're in doesn't have an age limit.
Yeah.
If you're just starting out right now, oh well, it's your time. Start out now. And that was actually, he gave me that advice after I got back into his show from getting kicked out of his show because I got booted out from his show. I rolled a huge ass blunt, huge, and I sparked it up, and as soon as I passed it to him, I got attacked by like the security.
Oh, at a Redman show? Come on.
At a Redman show. So and I got kicked out. I was out for the count, and like it was right like probably 20 minutes left into his set, and then he was done. And then when he was done, I ended up actually knowing one of the security guards for a long time, and a very good friend of mine. And he's like, "Yo, what are you doing out here?" I'm like, "Yo, I got kicked out of the Redman show for passing him a blunt." He's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Nah, Chino, come back in." He goes, "Never mind. I'm going to take you down to meet the man." I was like, "All right, cool." So he took me down to meet him, and he's like, "Yo, that's the nigga that kicked out of my show." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." He's like, and he goes, "Wait," he goes, "You got kicked out by the security, and you got the security guard bringing you back in?" He goes, "How does that work?" I'm like, I don't even know, but pleasure to meet you, whatever. And like I said, he gave me that advice. We, shot the shit for a bit. We smoked that blunt, and he gave me a shout out, and it was a pretty dope shout out. And we put that on the mixtape.
That's good advice, man. That's a dope story and good advice. And
real.
It's something I talk a lot with different guests about. Is like, is there a too old anymore? And I don't think there is. I don't think, I think artists typically are going to get better as long as they stay practicing the craft.
Straight.
Right.
Yeah.
And that goes even for DJing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Producing, like, you know what I mean? Like I went from DJing to producing, and like, I'll be honest, like my years and my time for DJing, was long done a while ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was DJing in the clubs since I was 13.
Okay.
I did I was doing a lot of local clubs. I was like a club kid, man, like every day of the week. Like, after hours on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, waking up Tuesday and then going back to another party Tuesday night for industry nights. So like, yeah, it was wild.
Shit's in your blood, man. You can't quit now. That's for damn sure.
Right.
Damn right.
It's it. It's on.
Yo, this has been fun, guys, but I feel like we should let D.O.V go back to someplace warm. Your coffee probably got cold on
I'm
you
good, man. I'm good. I'm always outside, yo. Not a problem for me.
Before I wrap up these interviews, I always ask, can you guys describe your local hip hop scene?
Oh man, mad talent, hungry, very creative, and very innovative. And I say, I see it as the future. A lot of noise right now in Canada. It's been that way for more than 10 years now, if you ask me. And I only see it going further. Don't sleep on Canada, regardless.
Hell yes.
We represent Toronto, but the whole country itself, Montreal, amazing artists out there.
Vancouver.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Cuervo, Omar Falcon, El Ro, man, amazing artists all across the country, man. And people are recognizing, people see it, and it's only a matter of time. Nicholas Craven, Conductor. I mean, we got so much talent,
Word.
even in the top 40s. But this underground movement, this hardcore hip hop movement, man, it's beautiful and it's been flourishing. And I say it's only a matter of time for that. To break the surface.
Yeah, and it's strong in a lane, I think, that is going to be strong forever. It's not a fad lane. It's the core lane of hip hop is that underground lyricism, boom bap sound.
That's right. Yeah,
it's not going anywhere.
No flash in the pan. This is definitely it's a strong foundation.
Yeah,
very strong.
Hell yeah. Chino, anything to add to that about the local hip hop scene?
Like I said, man, D.O.V said it all, man. Don't sleep on it, man. Straight. We got some heavy hitters out here, in Canada, that are doing it. Shout out to all of them, man. Home team, man. Shout out to all those guys, from Members Only, from No Face Crew, Fuego Cods, Daniel's son and the whole Brown Money. What is it? Brown
Bag Money.
Yeah, Brown Money. Yeah. A-Son.
He's out here in Calgary now. He
moved out to Calgary. Yeah. We got to see him. Yeah, look out for a couple more tracks coming out with him. You know what I mean? We got something in the works.
I played one of them last week on Atsic, I think. One with Daniel's son.
Oh, Hand to Hand.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. That's with actually Frankie Smacks from Brooklyn.
Okay.
So
that was a nice track.
Frankie Smacks, he hails out with Rem the Villain, Rem the Bill, and who else? Rome Streets. They're always around together. Those guys.
Okay, nice.
That's how I met Frankie Smacks. With Eddie Kane, and shout out to Eddie Kane too.
People don't realize there's a strong Brooklyn to Toronto connection. There's been a bridge for a minute.
Yeah.
Straight. And I'm blessed. We're blessed to be working with a lot of those guys from across the side. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you guys are helping that bridge. Keeping that bridge alive. I know that there has always been that connection between Toronto and New York, but sounds like you guys are keeping it strong for sure.
Hell yeah. Expect a lot more.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys? You love doing collaborations. Can you name a Canadian artist who you haven't worked with yet, who you'd like to work with? That's the other thing I ask everybody before these things end.
Me personally, I want to work with Choclair. I mean, from when I was a kid in the early 2000s, seeing him on Much Music, being a fan, to finally, recording in the same studio that him and the Baby Blue Sound crew worked in at Four Sounds, to then finally kicking it with him multiple times, getting him to cameo in a video, not even promoting the fact that he was in the video, just leaving him in the video and not saying anything and letting people discover that for themselves. It just feels like that next step, I got to get on the track with Choclair,
That's a good pick.
That's something I really want to do.
For me,
his last album was dope.
Yeah.
For me, it would probably be Socrates.
Two legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, I mean, fuck. Cardinal.
And also, it would be Socrates and Juggernaut, which is Frankie Payne.
Yeah.
Those would be two artists that I would like to work with.
Nice.
Eventually, you know what I mean?
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, they're all mad active, man. They're all active still.
They're all active too, yeah.
Well, and like we said, they only got better as they got older or whatever, right? So, yeah.
Great.
That's right.
Yo, mad respects, dog. Yo,
Hey,
Salute.
man.
Thank you for this, man.
Salute,
It's a pleasure,
salute.
man.
it's been fun. Where can people find you guys on social media? You want to shout out your social media or website or whatever you got where people can go
Chino
find you?
420, Hella Treez _2000, EST _2012. Find us on Bandcamp, Hella Treez Bandcamp. That's with a Z. And all our stuff, all our music, all our merch, all our vinyls, all our CDs, and everything can be purchased through Bandcamp. Just go check it out.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, D.O.V official, YouTube, D.O.V Toronto, Facebook, D.O.V Toronto. You know, it's all there. Hella Treez, you know, that's the home team. And fuck, man. Yeah, that's it.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys spending the time to do this. There's no show with no artists to join me. So it's
Thanks, man. I appreciate you for doing this, you know, giving us a voice.
Hey, thank you. What do you got there? Hella Treez Budbuster?
Hella Treez Budbusters.
Hey, it's about time for one of those. I already got mine
We
rolled
also
up.
got Hella Treez Lip Balm.
Oh shit! All right, okay. You need that in the
We're gonna
Canadian
have Hella
climate.
Treez
Yeah.
underwear one day. You'll see.
Yeah, bro. Straight, just the leaf.
Hey, if it's selling,
That's it.
why not? Just the leaf. Keep
Why
it
not, yo?
natural.
Strictly for the ladies.
Shit. All
There you
right,
go.
guys, it's been fun. You guys have a good night. Bless up.
Bless up.
All right,
Peace.
brother. Bless up.
Peace.
Respect, yo.
All right, everybody. That was fun. Make sure you go check out Hella Treez. They are always cooking up new music. Been very consistent. Always that grimy, street, underground, boom bap sound. And yeah, I'm going to be back next week. Who do I talk to next week? Next week, March 31st, I talked to the Sixth Letter from the Bakers Club. We were mentioning them just a little while ago. All sorts of interviews coming up, though. I guess I should keep this thing in my hand. April 7th, I talked to Tariq from Edmonton. April 14th, I'm talking to Sarafin from Calgary. April 21st, I talked to Len Bowen out of Winnipeg. April 28th, it's Ezza out of Niagara. May 5th, I talked to Tone Chop and Frost Gamble. I've talked to Frost before on Fly in Formation. He's a Winnipeg-based producer, but this time his longtime collaborator Tone Chop is going to join us for a video call. May 12th, it's OP Yeti out in Victoria on the West Coast. May 19th, touching down in Calgary, talking to Half Cut and Cole the God. And May 26th, staying in Calgary, talking to Cold Camp, the Dirty Samples new crew. Maybe not new, they've been around for a while now, dropped a couple of projects, but looking forward to catching up with him and meeting Shaka Boy, who is the other member of that clique. But yeah, appreciate everybody coming through. Do me a favor, hit the like on this if you're watching it on YouTube. Big ups to the people who came through in Twitch chat tonight. Looks like Lil Elf Mary. We appreciate you. Appreciate the follow and the comments throughout. We're here every Tuesday, so come on back. Other days of the week, I'm normally on here on Twitch in the afternoons, working on my own music. Thursdays, I put After the Smoke is Clear together, so I'll be DJing Thursday afternoons. Fridays, I sit and normally play some video games while I'm listening through 8-9 hours worth of new music every week. There's always something going on here. Twitch.tv/Doobyis. And of course, Doobyis.com is the hub for everything that I do. Tap in. Catch everybody next time.